Hello, today I am coming to you from Crested Butte, Colorado, where we have been camping for a couple nights. You can see this beautiful mountain range behind me, so I thought I would share a quick yoga video with you. So today we will start standing at the top of our yoga mat. Bring your palms together at heart center. We'll start standing in mountain position, Tadasana. Taking a couple quick breaths to slow things down. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Noticing the senses around you. The warmth, the coolness. Any sounds, any smells. Close our eyes to really tune into all of the sensations of the body. And still with the palms together, let's bring some real pressure into the palms, lifting the elbows, standing even taller like a mountain. Take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, bring your hands to your sides. As you breathe in, again, lift your hands up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring your hands through heart center, back to the sides. Inhale, back up overhead. Exhale, down through to the heart and back down to the sides. One more time like that. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, bringing your hands through the heart center all the way to the sides. We'll add on here. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Bend your knees and start to tip forward, reaching for your toes. Bow your head. 2 more breaths, just folded forward here. Soften knees. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten your back. Exhale, soften your knees, belly lands on the thighs. We'll sweep our hands out and up and overhead, reaching up for the sun, and exhaling down to heart center. Inhale here. Exhale to the sides. Inhale up overhead, lengthening up towards the sun. Exhale to heart center and start to fold at the hips. Soften your knees. Let your chin reach for your chest as the crown reaches for the ground. 2 more breaths as we hang out in a forward fold. With an inhale, sweep your hands to your shins. Lift halfway. Exhale and forward fold. Soften your knees. With your next inhale, sweep your arms out, up overhead. We'll bring the hands to heart center. 1 more round, just like that. Inhale here. Exhaling to the sides. Inhale, reaching up high. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then folding at the hips, softening at the knees to roll into a forward fold. We'll spend 3 full breaths here, hanging out in a Uttanasana, or forward fold. Let your head go, let your arms be heavy, just feel the stretch through the hamstrings. And with an inhale, let's lift halfway. Flatten your back, shoulders drop down. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep your arms out ahead, overhead, all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here. Staying where you are, exhale and ground through your feet. Inhale, lift through your head. Exhale, ground through your feet. Last breath before we add on. Inhale, here at your heart. Exhale, hands to your sides. Inhale, hands reach up all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Soften through your knees, forward fold, reaching for your toes. Soften the knees. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten your back. Drop those shoulders down so your neck gets a little longer. 2 more breaths here. Stretch through the neck a little bit. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder, right ear to your right shoulder. And we'll lower back down into a forward fold. From here, drop the fingertips into the mat and step your right foot back. Your heel can stay lifted or your toes can drop to a 45 outward. It's up to you. From here, we'll sweep our arms out and lift up to the sky. High lunge. With every exhale, give your body permission to sink a little deeper into that posture. Bending through the left knee as the right leg is kicked back almost to straight. We'll fold over top that left leg, dropping our hands to the mat and stepping the left foot back for downward facing dog. Pedal it out 2 or 3 times. Look towards your hands and start to roll into plank, separating the feet so that the toes are not touching. And if full chaturanga is in your practice, you can do that. If not, drop to your knees and lower down all the way to your belly. Scoop those elbows back. Inhale, lift through the heart. Keep it low if that hurts your back at all. Make sure your belly button is reaching forward as your crown is reaching up to the sky. Lowering back down. Tuck the toes. Lift back up to plank. Hinge at your hips, look back at your toes, and start to pedal it out. 2 or 3 times on each side. Reach your right leg all the way up to the sky. And step the right foot forward. The left foot remains back behind with the toes grounded, the heel lifted, or if that's a little bit too much, then you might drop your toes out to a 45-degree angle. From here, press through the right foot and sweep all the way up to a high lunge. With every exhale, soften a little deeper. Softening through your right knee as your left leg is straightened towards the back of your mat. Last breath. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, fold over top your right leg. This time we're going to step our left foot forward to meet the right in a forward fold. Soften through your knees. Let your head go. Let your arms go. One more breath, just folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten the back, shoulders down. Exhale, forward fold once again. Sweep those arms straight forward, let them carry you all the way up to the sun. Hands come down to the heart. From here we will remain in mountain position, palms together in Samastiti for 2 more breaths. We'll do that on the other side, inhaling here. Exhale, hands to the sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead, lengthening up to the sun. Exhale to heart center. Fold at the hips. Soften at the knees, folding over the legs, drop fingertips to the mat. Inhale and lift halfway, shoulders drop, elbows bend. One more big breath here. Inhale, and as you exhale, lower down. Keep your right foot where it is. Step your left foot back towards the back of your mat. Ground into your right foot and sweep yourself up to that high lunge. Two more breaths, sinking down a little further with each breath. Time I'll have you try softening the left knee a little bit so that both knees are softening, bringing those hips into alignment. One last breath here. As you exhale, fold over top the right leg. We're coming to plank, stepping our right foot back. Chaturanga. Heart lift. Here's Sphinx. You could go higher to Cobra or higher to up dog. Lowering back through. Tuck the toes and start to roll up to your downward facing dog. Reach your left leg up towards the sky, tripod downward dog. And sweep that left leg through to meet your left hand. Right leg stays towards the back of the mat. And we'll start to sweep up to the high lunge. Left leg forward, right leg back. Softening a little deeper with every exhale. This time I'll have you soften your right knee just a little bit to bring those hips into alignment. Last inhale here. Exhale, folding over top your left leg. This time our right foot steps forward to the left to meet. With an inhale, lift halfway, flatten your back. Hips reach back, heart reaches down, crown reaches forward, shoulder blades reach back. Last breath, knitting those ribs in the lower quadrant. And then we'll drop back down. Forward fold. Sweep the arms out, up and overhead. And the hands come to heart center with the exhale. We'll continue to add on to that sun salutation. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up. Exhale, swan diving to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. And exhaling back to the forward fold. Soften your knees. Send your right foot back towards the back of the mat. The heel stays lifted this time. Sweep your hands out and up and overhead to a high lunge. Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Right heel can be lifted or grounded. Arms come out to the side. We're hopping into a Warrior Three. So you want to step onto your left foot. If you'd like, you can start to fold into that, reaching the arms back. Down for a block, up overhead, it's your choice. Flex your back, that's your right foot, drop it back down to the mat. We're moving into Warrior Two. So that means your right heel will drop to the mat. You come out to the side so that our left knee is right over top our ankle. We're surfing here. Every exhale, we soften a little deeper. Last breath. With the exhale, windmill. So your left hand comes behind your left ankle, right hand comes in front of your left ankle, and right heel pivots back up. We're going to slide our left foot back to plank. Chaturanga. Part lift of your choice, Sphinx, Cobra, or Upward Dog. Lowering back through, back to your crocodile, Makrasana. Tuck the toes. Press up to hands and knees. Roll the hips up to downward facing dog and pedal it out a couple times. Reach your right leg up towards the sky. Stepping the right foot forward towards the right hand. Beautiful. Sweep those arms out to the side, softening the right knee. You still have the right side of your chest on the right side thigh. Looking straight down at your right big toe, like your right thigh is supporting you here. Start to press all the way up to your high lunge, lifting up to warrior one. Opening the arms and stepping the left foot forward to meet the right. Dropping the hands down like you're sticking the landing. Tadasana, mountain position. We'll try all of that on the other side. Hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale here. Inhale once more. Exhaling, hands to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up towards the sun. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Soften through the hips, folding forward. Soften through the knees, coming into a forward fold. 2 more breaths, just folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten the back. Let those shoulders drop. Let your neck rock from side to side. And then lower back into that forward fold. Keeping your left foot where it is, step your right foot all the way back. Start to pedal through that right heel, lifting up onto the right toes, and then dropping down onto the right heel. Rolling back up onto the right toes, dropping back down to the right heel. Go ahead and step your right foot back next to your left so that we can carry on with the other side. Send your left foot up into the air. Soften your standing right knee, dropping your left toes towards the back of the mat. Sweep your arms out and up and overhead into a warrior one. Remember, your left heel can be lifted or it could be dropped down to the ground at a 45-degree angle, so it's your choice. Wherever you choose to be, sink into your pose. 2 more breaths. Bring your arms all the way out to the side, and we're going to hop up onto our right foot into a warrior 3. It's a balancing pose, so keep it low if you need to, keeping that left toe close to the floor. If it's in your practice, you can start to fold into that posture, lifting your left heel even higher. Arms can stay out like you're flying. Reach back to your sides or reach up over your head. Big breath here. Drop your left toes down towards the back of your mat, and we'll windmill out into a warrior 2. With that, you want your left toes turned straight out, straight forward now. Right toes towards the top short end of your mat. So it's like you're surfing on your mat, arms straight out to the side. With every exhale, soften a little deeper into that right knee. Take in the senses, take in the smells around you. Big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to windmill. So right hand comes down first, then left hand. And then we're going to send our right foot back towards the back of the mat for a plank. Chaturanga, you can drop to your knees for that. Onto your belly. Heart lift. It could be really low, like Sphinx. It could be middle of the road, Cobra. It could be an up dog. Make sure those shoulders stay down. Open your chest. And we'll lower back down towards the mat. Tuck both toes and start to roll up to hands and knees. Send the hips up for downward facing dog, making any adjustments that you need. Reach your left leg up into the sky. And step that left leg all the way forward towards your left hand. Good job. One more high lunge here on the left, sweeping your arms out forward up towards the sun, softening the right knee. Inhale, lengthen back up. Exhale, forward fold over top that left leg, stepping the right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten the back, shoulders drop. One more breath, send the tailbone back, lowering down into that forward fold. Sweep the arms out like a bird. Press through the feet and start to roll all the way up, reaching up for the sun. Hands touch overhead. Exhale to heart center. Couple breaths. Drop your hands down to your sides. Mountain position. We'll stretch our left calf and Achilles tendon here. Inhale, hands heart center. Exhale, hands to your sides. Inhale, sweep them up all the way up overhead. Hands through heart center. Hinge at the hips, folding forward. Soften your knees, forward fold. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten your back. Exhale, forward fold. Soften those knees. We're going to slide our left foot back so that our heel is lifted. And then drop down to your left heel so that your foot is flat. And then roll up to your left toes and roll down to your left heel. Back and forth a couple times. Go ahead and step your left foot forward next to your right. Forward fold, soft knees, straight knees, up to you. Soften again, and then we'll sweep the arms out and up and overhead. Hands come to heart center. Down to the sides, Tadasana. Take your left leg and step it towards the back of the mat, or any way so that you are facing the camera or the screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Make any adjustments, separating your feet, turn your toes out to a 45-degree angle. I like to take my hands right in the hip hinges, and I start to send my hips straight back, straight legs, straight spine, elbows straight out, and then I begin to fold into that pose so that I'm getting inner thigh stretch, but also back of the hamstrings. Hands can come straight down to the mat if you'd like. Let your head just hang. Bring your right hand into the mat and sweep your left hand out and up towards the sky. You may feel your hips switch over to the right, and that's okay. So now I feel a little bit more intensity in my right hip. And we'll switch and go the other way, bringing that left hand down and sweeping the right hand out and up. So now I feel more intensity in the left inner thigh. One more breath, holding that pose. Lowering back down. Walking the hands over in front of the left foot, softening the left knee and the left knee and rolling the right heel up into the air. So big right inner leg stretch there, inner knee. And then we'll switch it and do the other side so that the right toes turn down, walking the hands to the right, softening the right knee so much that the right heel might come up and the left heel stays grounded, left toes lift. Just big stretch here. I call this the skater stretch. Let's try it again. So I walk my hands over to the left. My left toes are grounded, but my left heel is lifted. If you don't have a lot of flexion in your knees, you might not be able to get as low as me, and that's okay. Let's try it one more time. Slow to the right, turning your toes out, lifting your right heel, left toes lift. Let's go a little faster for 2 more. Switching to the left, switching to the right. See if you can try it without hands, bringing your hands to heart center. Coming back through, softening the knees, sitting a little deeper into your stretch there. Turning your toes in and your heels in and your toes out. Press down through the heels so that your core can lift up. Coming into goddess pose. Softening the knees. Arms are cactus arms. Spread out to the sides. We also call this straddle pose or horse pose. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Arms reach open like a 5-pointed star. Let your arms come straight out like a T. Turn your right toes straight out to the right. Turn your left toes straight forward towards the screen. Soften your right knee. Now you're in Warrior 2 on the right side. Reach your arms up. Turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes out. Arms tee out to the side as you soften your left knee, just your left knee. So now you're in Warrior 2 to the left. Let's try it again. Reach the arms up like a star. Turn your left toes forward. Right toes turn out. Exhale, soften into Warrior 2. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, turn your left toes out. Soften, Warrior 2. One more on each side. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, Warrior 2 to the right. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, Warrior 2 to the left. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, folding straight over. Hands to the mat. Hips reach back. Head reaches down. Sweep the arms out like a bird. Flatten through the back as you roll all the way up. Turn your right toes forward to the top edge of your mat. Step your left toes towards the top of the mat as well. Walk it out. We'll move into some hip openers here. So we'll make our way down to the yoga mat. Find your way into any seated position that you like. I prefer a cross-legged seated pose. But if you prefer having your legs straight out, you're more than welcome to. So as we begin opening our hips, we're going to start into the low back. Ground through your fingers. Reach your right hand out, slide it down. So right hand slides down, left hand reaches out and up and overhead. If you find that your right shoulder is tucked up right by your ear, try to relax that. Drop your right shoulder down. Maybe dropping your elbow down, but keeping your left sit bone rooted. Look up towards the ceiling. Look down to the floor. Inhale and bring yourself back up. If your legs are straight, stay where you are. If your legs are crisscrossed like mine, switch so that your other foot is on top. Slide your left hand out as far as you can. Right hand sweeps all the way up and overhead. Soften through your left elbow, your left shoulder, so that the right side is feeling a big stretch. Make sure you can breathe with that stretch. If you can't breathe, you might be too far into the position. And with an inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Now we're moving into a twist. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Take your right hand to the mat behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, add a twist. Inhale, sit up tall again, releasing the twist. Exhale, add the twist. It's like wringing out a washcloth. Inhale to fill up the washcloth. Exhale to wring it out. One more. And we'll switch sides, crossing our right arm over top to the outside of our left leg. Left hand slips out towards the back of the mat. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, add a twist. Inhale, fill up the washcloth. Exhale, wring it out. Two more, just like that. And we'll start to make our way back to center. Now you'll see me turn towards the top of my mat so that we can extend the legs out if they were crisscrossed. Now that we're working into the hips, we're going to reach those hands up and reach for your shins or your ankles, or maybe you reach for your toes today. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears. And so any angle that your body makes in comparison to your legs is totally fine as long as you're feeling a stretch. Nothing that hurts, just feels good. A stretch behind the knees, lower back. And we'll bring ourselves back up to seated. Bend just your right knee and cross it over top your left leg. And give that right knee a hug so that maybe your foot lifts up off the ground. Sit up really tall and let your shoulders drop. Taking a couple breaths to feel the stretch, maybe in your right hip, right groin, right thigh. Hang on with your left arm. So your left elbow is wrapped around your right leg, and we'll sweep our right hand to the mat behind us. If you'd like to, you can bring it into a further posture by dropping your right foot down, sweeping the left hand up to the sky and hooking it on the outside of your right leg. Add some tension by elbowing into your right thigh with your left elbow. And start to unwind. We'll let our right knee just drop out to the side, so slide your foot to the inside of your left straight leg. So your left straight leg is just straight out and your right knee is bent. You can use a block or a pillow to support that knee if you need to. Sweeping the hands all the way up to the sky, folding over just your left leg. Folding all the way so that your forehead is reaching for your left shin or your left knee. Starting to roll all the way back up. Now from here I'm going to take this right leg, pick it up so that it's crossed over like I'm reading a newspaper. And if it's in your practice, if it's available to you, start to cross it all the way over. In Yin Yoga it's known as half a shoelace. In Ashtanga Yoga it's known as Ardha Gomukhasana, so half cow face pose. You want your right knee stacked on top of your left so the legs are kind of crossed over top, but the left leg is straight. I'm going to slide my hands down towards my left straight shin. Straight ankle, foot, wherever you can reach, and bow your head over. We'll bring ourselves back up. Bring your hands to the mat behind you. My fingers are facing forward. You could have them facing back or facing out, any way. We want to bring our right foot flat and start to roll. We're going to be rolling onto our left hand. So I start on both hands. I lift my hips up and roll over. See how there's a lot of pressure here on my right foot. I got to rotate my left hand. And I'm stretching. It's a half side plank. Lots of pressure on the right foot. Arc your hips up towards the sky. And we'll drop the hips back down. We're going to try all of that on the other side. So uncross the legs. Let's do a quick forward fold and see how the sides are differing now. Sweep your hands out, up overhead. Flex the feet back. Fold over top the legs. Reach for your toes or ankles, shins, knees. Bow your head over. And then sit up nice and tall. Let your shoulders drop down. Let your crown reach for the sun. And we'll start to roll up the legs. Bend just your left knee and cross it over top the right leg. Give that left knee a nice hug, a nice squeeze, lifting your foot up off of the ground. Letting your shoulders drop, the crown lift up to the sky. Feel that stretch. You can lean back. You can open the angle of the knee if you need to. So find what you need. Find what will serve your left hip the best and allow you to feel that stretch the best. Start to add a twist. So pass the left leg into the right arm, dropping your foot down perhaps, and bringing your left hand to the mat behind you. This is a really nice, gentle twist. If you'd like to make it a little bit more intense, you can always sweep your right hand up and hook it on the outside of your left thigh and start to add tension by elbowing your thigh. Eventually the palms might come together in a prayer twist. Unwind, come back to center. Let your left foot slide to the inside of your right leg, your right thigh. If your left knee doesn't like that, certainly feel free to lift the knee with a bolster or a blanket, maybe a block, or maybe not as much flexion in that knee. We want our right foot to be nice and flexed there, nice and strong. We'll sweep our hands out and up overhead, lengthening up and folding over top the right leg. Just the right leg. Let your crown reach down for the top of your knee or the top of your foot. One more breath. Janu Sirshasana means head to knee position. We'll start to roll back up. Send your left foot up over top your straight right leg. And if it's available for you, it might go even further so that your left knee is stacked on top of your right thigh, your right knee. So right knee is underneath the left. We'll sit up nice and tall and slide the hands down towards the right shin, ankle, toes, and bow over top. I feel a really big right hamstring stretch and a little bit through the left thigh. Might be totally different for you where you feel the stretch. Beautiful. Let's roll back up and we're going to come into that half side plank. So take your right hand. We want it facing towards the back of the mat. Left foot is going to come right down onto the mat so that you can really push into that foot. We're rolling to the outer right hip, push into the left hip, and reach up and over. Drop the hip back down, come on back to center. One more forward fold here, inhaling up to the sky. Rolling over top straight legs for feet or ankles, shins or knees, bowing your head. Find your way back up to seated. Feet come together, knees apart, sitting up nice and tall. The angle of the knees is totally up to you. And if you need more stretch at any point, start to lean forward so that your belly is reaching towards your feet. Knees are being drawn apart with gravity here. Begin to walk your hands closer towards your body. Hold your knees together like a book. Balance on your tailbone so your feet are lifted up off the ground. Your hands are not supporting you. They're just outreached in front of you. Your legs can start to lengthen just a little bit, about halfway if you want. Start to straighten the right leg and bring it back to bent. Left leg, bring it back to bent. Right leg, left leg, like you're kicking through water. Turn your palms down and start to pedal them. Just pressing down like 100s in Pilates. Take a look around you wherever you are. Maybe you're lucky enough to be somewhere like me. And let's bring it down. Feet together, knees apart, rolling over top the legs. Cobbler pose, butterfly, Baddha-Konasana, whatever you choose to call it. And we'll roll back up. Finally here, I'd like to add a Shavasana, but before we do that, we'll do a couple rolling bridges. So come on down to laying on your back. Roll back onto your back so that you're facing up towards the sky. Sweep your hands up towards the ceiling, press into your feet, lift into a bridge. Hands might reach all the way up overhead, and then we'll lower back down so that the hips lower down and the arms are by your sides. Let's do two more like that, lifting up, reaching your arms up overhead, pressing through the feet, activating your thighs, and exhale to roll down. One more. We'll take a quick cool down, letting your hands rest by your sides, letting your knees knock together. Coming back to your breath and feeling the energy of the earth, feeling the senses of wherever you are, the warmth, the coolness, the breeze, the stillness. The weight of your clothing, the texture of your yoga mat. Any sounds around you, any smells around you, tastes. Begin to bring your feet flat once again with your knees bent. Pull your knees into your chest, maybe one at a time, massaging your low back into the floor, rocking right to left, maybe adding little circles. Bring your feet back down to the mat. Press down to lift your hips as high as you can. Really activate your thighs. Bring your hands together underneath you. Interlace your fingers and create a little shelf for your shoulders by bringing them closer together underneath you. Really reach back with your heart, reach up with your hips, and we'll lower back down. Begin to roll to one side, supporting your head with your upper arm. Press into your palms to walk back up to a seated posture. Notice now how you feel. The only comparison that we should do is how we feel now compared to 1 hour ago. So I hope that your body feels warmer, more lubricated, more free, more sturdy and grounded. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today in the mountains. I bow to you. Namaste.